Hey yo, it's your girl Jada J. Sorry about this glare in the back. I tried this. I don't know. I'm sorry, y'all. And hopefully, I'm gonna be having better camera quality soon. Okay, so I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, but trust me, it'll be getting better. All right, y'all. So first thing I want to say, this episode, it was a little slow, but it had a lot of strong points. And like the Jedi always says, if you're looking for high drama every week, this probably isn't like the kind of show that you need, because it's a soap opera, so it's a little, but they picking it up, you know what I'm saying, and it's good, and it's dramatics, and it's worth and everything like that. I wouldn't want to stop watching the show at this point. Surprise, surprise. All right, y'all. This show was on point. The show was on point. I gotta say something about my hair until you don't have my hair. All right, I gotta get my hair on y'all. Anyway, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so we opened up where we left off last week. Claudia, Lucian, and Natalie. All right. So, we got Claudia. She was looking at Natalie. She handed Lucian his phone back. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget the number. Then tries to reach her hand out to Natalie. Natalie was like, oh, do you work here? There was no handshake, everybody. She reclined. All right, just, oh, okay, let me retract that. And she's like, yeah. She was like, are you a cop? Or she goes, no, I'm a 911 supervisor. She goes, oh, so you work with Esperanza. She's like, yeah, that's my boss. She's my supervisor. And she's like, oh, so you work just like that? Or she's like, oh, actually, I was just clocking out. I was just leaving. She's like, oh, okay. So then she walks away. She was like, all right, I'll holler at y'all later. So then at this point now she's walking away. Natalie's now talking to Lucian. She's like, what was that about? He goes, look, she's a new girl. I'm just trying to give her protocol tips. She was like, okay, but was she putting her number in your phone? He was like, I was just about to delete it. Lucian is my homeboy. That's my brother. I tell you, that's that dude. Lucian is that dude, for real. So she's like, oh, I'll do it. He says, okay, here you go. Like it's no problem. Just hand her the phone. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Come on now, Big Lou. So she acting like she don't know what to do with it though. She okay, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So then they're talking. He's like, what are you doing here? Did you just come down here to yell at me? She's like, no, like I brought you. This was like Natalie got really kind of giddy and really like, oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? She ain't say I'm sorry, but she was like, I bought you a meal. Like she was literally just like that. I like how Tyler wrote this. Except I would have liked a little kiss with them, a little peck. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't get that, and I'm fine with it because it was the tenderness of the scene was enough. So anyway, he's like, he looking at her shocked. She's like, why? She was like, dang, don't look so shocked. He was like, I don't know, because the last time we had pretty much a yelling match. You was cussing me out, told me to get out and this, that, and now you bringing me a meal. She's like, I know, but I'm cool now. I'm cool. So she's like, could you please promise me you're not doing anything illegal? Could you just promise me that? He's like, I promise you, I'm not doing anything illegal. So then Natalie, okay, but where did you get the 200,000 from? And he's just like, Natalie, look. She's like, please, Lucian, I need you to tell me. So he's kind of just like, all right, I've been saving up. She was like, but how? That doesn't make sense. She was like, you told me when you got here, you was working as a bouncer. That's why you was only giving me $200 a month. And now you telling me you have all this money in the bank. He's like, look, Natalie, it's my money. No, he kind of telling her like, no disrespect, but this is my money. And that's all you need to know right now. Like, that's it. She was like, just promise me this too. Nobody gonna come hurt my kids. He was like, what? She was like, nobody gonna come hurt my kids. If something happened to you, nobody coming for my kids, right? He's like, I promise you, as long as I'm breathing, nobody is gonna come after you or our kids. That's what I'm talking about. Lucian is that. If young men watching this show, you need to be imitating Lucian. So she's like, okay. So then she was like, what about Eddie? He said, I shot him. She said, what? He's like, about 8 times in the chest. You know what I'm saying? OG gangster style. You feel me? And so she's like, what? You could have killed him. Like, trying to act like she actually cared. Oh, you could have killed him. What? He's like, look, I heard about what he did to you, so I put him in the locker room. Bah, bah, bah. He didn't do that. He just said, I shot him. So she was like, you could have killed him. You could have killed him. He's like, I know. I'm just saying. Like, he really had me mad. And he was like, I promise you, he got the message now. He ain't never coming to your house again. Don't even worry about that. She said, dang. He was like, what? She said, you a G? That was a little cute moment there, because he was like, no, I'm not. He was like, I just don't know what, I don't like people messing with nobody that I love. So, and she was kind of looking like, oh, okay, you love me. You know what I'm saying? They had that little cute. And then she was like, I love you. She literally was like, it was like that. Y'all had to see it. Mom. Goodbye, Mom. Ma.
Are you on computer?
Yes, Mom.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
Huh?
You talking about it?
Yes. Good Mom. You're gonna be on camera. Thanks, Mom. No, Mom. Mom. Mommy, okay. You're gonna be on camera, Mom. Shout out to the moms out there, everybody. Okay. So then, she was... Sorry about this, my mom. You gotta love her. You gotta love her. Okay, so anyway, she's like, I love you, man. And then he's like, I love you too. And she's trying to go in for the kiss. He was like, no, it was when she was going in for the kiss. He goes, I love you too. And she's kind of like, and then he's like, not here, right? Not here. She was like, what you talking about? I wasn't even about to try and kiss you. What did you talking about? I wasn't even about to try and kiss you. He was like, oh, really? You wasn't going to try and kiss me? She like, nah, I'm chilling or whatever. He was like, all right, we can't do that here anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? She was trying to kiss him, everybody. She was just, she about to leave. Then she said, tell that girl I'm watching her. She said H-O though, y'all. H-O-E. She said, tell that I'm watching her. And he was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I love those two. I'm hearing wedding bells. Tyler better speed it up. Come on, yeah. Okay, so then we switched to Kelly. Can I say this on camera? Okay. So I can't say it on camera. Okay, I can. Okay, forget it. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. The lawyers they don't even know what's going on. What am I paying you for? The Jedi, send me your lawyers, Jedi. Like I told y'all, the lawyer's assistant crew, that's all the Jedi. Go check him out. Go check him out, definitely. All right. Nobody could do it like he can. Okay, anyway. So, hey, Jedi. So then we switched to Kelly. Now, Kelly's trying to give Alex, it kind of opens, this is like a small thing, but I want to make sure I give it to you. It opens up, it comes with them in the scene, and she's trying to hand her some water, and Alex is like, nah, I'm good. She's like, you got to stay hydrated because you're breastfeeding. That little thing there. And then so she takes the water, so she comes to sit down, and she's like, Alex, like, you can't think that you possibly deserve to be treated like that, talking about, Brad bringing her parents and everything like this. And she's like, yes, I do. And she's like, Alex, she was like, what did I tell you when I went to the hospital? I got you to actually take your meds. She goes, I said to you that, if Brad can't forgive you, that it's time to move on. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, it's difficult to do that, though, knowing that I'm the one that caused him so much pain. And she's like, I get it, but now you got to move forth. And then she's just like, it's hard. And she's like, you lost her. Alex is like, what you talking about? She goes, you lost her. Again, she's kind of just sitting there. She's like, she was like, who? She's like, yourself. She was like, when I first met you, you were the happy homemaker, baking cookies, going to church. And now you're so unhappy. Like, what happened to you? You know what I'm saying? So Alex is just like, so no, Kelly goes, you need to get her back. So she's like, how? She's like, first of all, you don't ask how, you do something. So then Alex is like, look, I did something, and that's what got me in this situation. She was like, okay, well, now you need to do something to get yourself out. So, and that actress, Edwina Finley, is, she's a motivational speaker in real life. So, and that goes into her character, Kelly, even though sometimes she gets on my nerves with the straddling of the fence. And she, with my husband Ramsey, didn't appreciate that. Don't appreciate that. Everybody just joking around, all right? Kelly, that's my homegirl, but she be doing a little like, okay, Kelly, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool to me, though, how she didn't even bring up how Alex freaking dumped her aside at the hospital and was like, I never want to talk to you again. And now they ace, boom, boom. Like, that's what really happens in friendship. If you bring it up every single thing, it's going to be I would have been like, remember you kicked me out of your hospital room and I'm still here repping you? I would have brought it up, y'all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. All right. So then we switch back to the police station. And we see Claudia about to leave out. I think she was like logging out. Then who do we see? fake ASS Eddie walking up to her with the fake ASS corny pickup lines and all the bull. So yeah, he's walking up to her, trying to hand her his number. She like, nah, dude, I'm good off you. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. He's like, come on, you know, I'm a good guy and all this and just trying to be. And then it was something where, oh yeah, he goes, you know, if you ever need anything, I'm right over here. So she's like, actually, I do need something. He's like, what's that? She goes, how's Pete? He said, what? She said, Pete. He was like, well, he should be dead by now. She was like, he was like, oh, my bad, my bad. I could be a little direct. She goes, that wasn't direct, that was cold. Then he was like, my bad. He goes, do you know Pete? She's like, nah. He was like, oh, okay, then I didn't hurt your feelings anyway. So she was like, he goes, no, I'm sorry, or something like that. She's like, I'm fine. He was like, yes, you are. She was like, how corny could you possibly get? You feel me? He was like, I wasn't even trying to be corny. I'm just trying to spit real talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to spit that real talk when all he is fake. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't with that character, dude. Tyler needs to come on with that too, because I have a feeling there's more to that character, but we're just on this and I don't need this. So if that's what he's got to go, if this is all we're gonna get, I'm over it. And it's getting worse and worse every week with him, so that's frustrating too. So then and I don't really like how Tyler is. I don't know, because y'all know I didn't told y'all Esperanza and Eddie was my couple at one. I'm over it now, y'all. I'm still holding out for a friendship. I'm sorry, you can't get mad at me. I don't like how, because then when she said something about Esperanza, he said, oh, you know, we ain't nothing no more. I'm done. You know, that was years ago. Blah, blah, blah. You should go out with me. I'm this good guy. What I don't like is when Claudia was like, you know, she would be so mad if she thought I was talking. I didn't like because his reaction to it was like, oh, she's still jealous. Like, it annoyed me because I don't want that to come up later. Oh, Claudia told me that you're jealous when her and I, you know what I'm, just for that character, that would annoy me. And how it was, and how long they kind of went on that just alone. When she came with the what was, he goes, she's mean to you like in here? She goes, yeah, did you see like how she talks to me? And he's kind of like, really? So it kind of saying it like, oh, so she do got a little, like, it's gonna, I hope Tyler doesn't do anything with that, because it's really gonna, it annoyed me in that moment, because it's like, why would you waste so much time on this? And then he just said he didn't care about her like seconds ago, which clearly we saw that as a pickup line, because then when they're talking, he's gonna say, why do you witches get so offended? He said the B word, y'all, but I'm saying witches because, you know, I don't cuss. He said, why y'all witches get so offended in the workplace? She said, excuse me? He goes, you know, I'm just joking, you know what I'm saying? She's like, Edward. He said, Edward. He said, say that again. He said, I just love the way you say my name. I would have just punched it, because there's a point when dudes are just like, okay, you just coming with the fake ASS pickup lines. I have no interest in you, I know this, but I can still laugh at your jokes. He was just like, okay, dude, be gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, and then it was just like that over, like, you're, oh my gosh. And she goes, something, he called out of her name a couple times. It was first, why do you witches get so offended in the workplace? Then something else, and he was like, I'm just playing. He's like, I'm the good guy, just go out with me, you know, sound like freaking Stevie J, I'm the good guy. Then he's like, if you go out with me, you'll be able to see I'm the life of the party, and all this. And she was like, I'm beginning to think that you're just a complete a-hole. And he was like, oh, you got me all wrong, trust me, and then just blah, 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 just take my number and call me. And then Esperanza rolls up, and she's like, Claudia, why aren't you logged into work? And she goes, well, actually, you said I could leave. So she was like, okay, so why aren't you logged out and leaving? Why are you standing here having a conversation? So then she's like, Ed, could you, like, get out my office? And he's like, nah, I'm not finished talking to Claudia. And then so they get back to talking, and I think, what did Esperanza said, tell me X 787, because I guess his procedures you're supposed to know as a 911 dispatcher, of course. And she's like, exactly what I thought, you don't even know. She was like, so, what, but you all here having a conversation, yet you don't even know what you're doing. Switch back to fake ASS Eddie, oh, so y'all just gonna ignore me? Then she's like, okay, then she tells me, and she goes, can you get out? He's like, all right, I'm leaving. He leaves. Then they having a little thing. She's like, what's going on with you? Claudia's like, what are you talking about? She goes, I looked at your resume. She's like, okay. She goes, you said you worked in New Orleans for 5 years as a dispatcher? Well, if you worked in New Orleans for 5 years, you would know these procedures. She goes, well, they were a little different in New Orleans. She goes, no, the government mandates that they're all the same everywhere. So I don't know. It just, she goes, I'm sorry. She goes, sorry for what? She goes, don't apologize to me for talking to Eddie. I don't care about you talking to him. She's like, I care that you have this job and you're doing it all wrong. And she goes, she's kind of saying it like, girl, you about to lose your job. She's like, no, please, I need this job, please. She's like, all right, then you need to start showing me some promise and that you really want this job. And then Claudia's like, all right, logs out, leaves. And Esperanza is kind of giving a look. I don't know, because that annoys me too. Because why would you be jealous? I'm not, look, y'all, even when I wanted them together, I'm at a point where I feel like she should be over him. Oh my God, time jump. Years later, he's changed. Oh, I'm still in love with him, kind of thing. At this point, there's no reason why you should be jealous that he's with other women. You should be like, oh, thank God he's out of my hair. You know what I'm saying? The mother effer. You know, I can't with Tyler, dude. I'm tweeting Tyler about it, too, because I don't need this, y'all. I don't need it. I don't need it. And just what they're insinuating. Oh, my gosh. Okay, moving on. Where's my Tylenol and my water? All right. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay. So then we switch out of there, and we're still at the police station. So, and the next scene is Steven coming in. He goes, everybody, I've got some good news. I've got some good news, y'all. So they're like, okay, what's the good news? He goes, Steven's gonna make it. Eddie, here you go, Eddie. Oh, ain't that good? So everybody starts like clapping with him, all the fakery. And Ben's looking worried. So Steven is looking at Ben like, he goes, are you okay, man? Like, you good? He's like, oh yeah, that's great. That's great. So he goes, we're gonna need people on, watching him 24-hour watch, blah blah blah. And Andrew steps up, the security guy. We've met him earlier in the season. And he's like, I already do, security guard work there anyway, so I wouldn't mind checking in on him. And Eddie goes, that's all the more reason why he shouldn't. I can't, y'all. I can't with that character. I'm waiting on Tyler to give me something. Give me he has PTSD. Give me he has NPD. Give me something, Tyler, or else this character is pointless. I don't know. Am I the only one who feels, because what is, you're not doing anything. And then it's like, what are you doing here? I can't with that character. I can't, dude. And then the dude that he talking about got to be a brother to he black. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and stop. All right. So he goes, that's all the more reason why he shouldn't. He says Ben should do it. So Ben's like, yeah, I think. No, so then they kind of get into a little thing. And he's like, see, the rookie's already getting emotional. He ain't doing it. Ben don't do it. No, so then the rookie goes, Andrew, you know what? Did I just repeat something Eddie said? Fire 4 people. Okay, so then he's off the back. I don't want to see it. So then Eddie says, what was it? Oh, no, Andrew starts trying. He's but Eddie's like, oh my gosh, that character, please tweet Tyler for me or with me. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so then Steven goes, okay, cool. Ben, you can step up and do it. Lucian goes, I'll do it. He's like, nah. And then it's like Steven was trying to make something up. He goes, no, you did so well with Eddie. We need you on the streets. We need you. I've been reserving judgment on Steven for the fact that we don't know. He be throwing out like that low key. He could be good or like a good dude that's scared as like a coward, or he's that bad dude that's going along with everything. Which either way, you're a bad dude. Just now I'm thinking you're contributing to the problem. At first I just kind of thought he stood by and didn't, which that's contributing to the problem. I'm over Steven at this point, because you were making up stuff on the spot like, oh yeah, Lucian, we need you on the streets. We need you. So then Eddie's like, yeah, Lucian, we need you. I can't. So Lucian is kind of hanging back like, I got this under control. But so Eddie leaves out and kind of motions Ben like, come on, dude, I gotta go ahead and tell you something real quick. So then we see, we go back to Lucian and Andrew. Andrew is walking up to Lucian. He's like, how does this even happen, man? The dude's got his freaking hand blown off and he's still getting this, that, and the third. And Lucian's like, man, you got something you want to say? Like, what's the problem? He goes, nah, man, I'm not going to say nothing. He's like, what is your problem? Like, why is you looking so scared? So he kind of leans in. He's like, look, I can't say too much. But you know them 16 rookies on the wall? It was something like 16, y'all. I've been here for the last 7. And guess what? The murders always get covered up. And the last dude who got blamed for all this, I know for a fact he was innocent. But they framed him. Lucian's like, they? He's like, I don't want to say too much. So then he's just like, you can't trust. He's like, why can't you tell me? He's like, I can't say nothing in this department. He was like, you can't trust nobody, especially your partner. He goes, Eddie, what about him? He's like, man, I'm not even about to say nothing. Like, I'm zip zilch. So this is kind of, because people have been saying, is it the whole department or is it just Eddie? It's the whole department. It's the whole department. I'm over it. It's the whole department, y'all. So what is Tyler gonna do with this? Oh, next end of season, everybody's gonna be fired. I'm interested to see what Tyler's gonna do with an entire, because the whole department is corrupt. You're not gonna be able to convince me otherwise at this point. So at this point, I'm already trying to figure out what's Esperanza gonna do for a job once they shut that witch down. You know what I'm saying? I can't, y'all. I can't. All right. So then we switch to the kids getting off the bus. So they're getting off the bus, but they're going over to the house because, it's their house. She's like, so Kelly's coming outside. She's like, no, you come over here. So they're like, why? We want to see our mom. She's like, I know. They go in, they see her, they see the baby. And Paisley, that's the girl. She's like, oh my God, mom, like, he's beautiful and all that. Peter's excited. He's like, I got a brother. Then Paisley comes with how did he get his hands so quickly, mom? Really? And then Justice, and to cut Kelly's son, he's like, that's not a 10, that baby's. And then Kelly's like, don't you have some homework to do? He's like, I'm just trying to. She goes, go do your homework. Takes him to the back. So they talking, and she's like, look, I have something to tell you guys. And she goes, it's about your dad. And he's like, we already know. And she's like, what do you know? She goes, Peter told me. He goes, Mom, I'm not a kid no more. I heard y'all arguing about an affair. And Paisley goes, I told him, Mom, it's not true, that you wouldn't do that. And he's like, she doesn't even know what an affair is. She's like, yes, I do. She goes, it's when two people kiss. He goes, okay, whatever, little girl. Like, they're kind of having their little brother sister thing. I couldn't stand it. I was over it. Okay, I'm not going to, the kids acted, go ahead, kids, go ahead. I'm a kid myself, so. They did real good, y'all. They did real good. All right, so continuing that, she kind of comes forth and she's like, I just want y'all to know, pretty much like that talk, that old snap, they breaking up and it's coming. She goes, we love you, but because of my mistake, that's why me and your father are getting. And Peter goes, don't say a divorce. And she goes, I'm sorry, we are. And so he storms off, and she goes, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to do my homework with Justice. He's like, I knew it. I can't believe it. And walking off. And Paisley, the girl, she's like, it's all right, Mom. I get it. I still love you. You're only human. So they have their little thing. They crying and all that. She's like, I love you, Mom. She goes, I love you, too. She goes, hey, my friend Caitlin's parents, they got a divorce, and, they still see each other a lot. She still sees her dad. They're still a family. Her parents, they're just not together. And she goes, everything's going to work out, fine, Mom. And she's like, yeah. So, huge maturity on the little girls. And then I get what Peter's going through, so I'm not going to trip on him. All right, I'm not going to trip on him, because speaking through a mirror of my parents aren't together, been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? So, then we switch to Randall's house. Now, I just want to give you a little bit of context. He comes in, and she's, Miss Louise is cutting up, like, zucchini or something. So he comes up, she's like, oh, you've been gone almost all day, like, where you been at? He goes, I'm with the lawyers. She goes, lawyers? He's like, yeah, at a time like this, I gotta go talk to my lawyers. And he said, being a psychologist, knowing all the lawyers I know, shoot, that don't hurt either. So she kind of like, okay, so what they say about the divorce? He goes, divorce? He goes, I wouldn't waste this favor on Marcy, as if she's nothing. Like, I can't stand him. I can't. Eddie and him are just really, Tyler is really, like, bringing them up. I suggest to you something's gonna, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that because it's something that Randall's mom said later in the episode. So yeah, anyway, so she goes, what are you talking about? He goes, look, it's a family attorney. I'm trying to see my son. Alex ain't gonna let me see him, so this, that, and the third. She goes, you did this on purpose. It was like an epiphany. You did this on purpose. You're a psychologist. You got straight A's in school. You manipulated her, and I didn't appreciate this. Hold on. Let me not get ahead of myself. I'm gonna continue what he said. Okay. So she goes, you manipulated that girl into doing whatever you wanted her to do. You wanted a child, and you was gonna use her to get it. All of the time I was thinking, oh, you accidentally fell in love, or he didn't do this to Marcy on purpose. You did this on purpose. Now, here's what I want to interject to say. I didn't appreciate this because this again was like that I like the reality of it, because in reality that probably is what he did, like, but still it was very like hard hitting for me, because it's like it's another way to make her look like the victim. Like, oh my gosh, he manipulated me. I didn't have any self-control. I didn't have any self-discipline. It was another way of that for me. Not to bash it. They all playing to mess out their roles. Let me just say that. But that for me was really, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't have wrote the scene or directed it better myself. Of course not. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Perry's doing the daggone thing. That's my uncle. All right, I call him my uncle. Go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead, Mr. Perry. Go ahead. Yeah, I call him Mr. Perry, y'all. Just, we family and everything, but you got to keep it respectful. You got to keep it. All right, that's not really my uncle, but I could say it. All right. All right, let me get back on track, y'all. I'm sorry. I know I've been drifting. So he goes, look, she shouldn't have been in my shit. She goes, you did this on purpose. He goes, okay, fine. No, she goes, you started this. He goes, okay, fine, I started it, but I'm going to finish it. He goes, that's my son, my only child, and she ain't going to let me see him? Nah, they getting served today. Today. So she just looks at him in disgust and walks away, and he giving her death glare, like looking at his mom like, and got a smile on his face like, what a shame. I'm telling y'all, something gotta be coming for him and Eddie. What if it's like at the same time, everybody? Can you imagine? I can't, dude. I can't. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So then, and he set up an emergency hearing. So just wanted to put that in. So then we switched to Marcy and Brad's apartment. I'm liking it better. Like the Jedi said, I didn't love that apartment when I seen it last week. But I'm liking the apartment. I'm liking the apartment a lot. I like it. Okay, so we switched to Marcy and Brad's apartment, and again, just some context. He knocks on the door. She's unpacking. She's like, "Come in." He comes in. She goes, "Welcome home." It's just that little thing, you know. And he's like, "Thanks." So he pretty much comes in. He's like, she goes, "I know it's pretty small." He's like, "I've been as small as." She's like, "Yeah, me too in college." He goes, "For me, it was the war, you know, but at least I don't have to share with a bunch of guys this time." And she goes, "Nope, just me." And he's like, which is not bad at all. And she's like, "Thank you." So he goes, no, she goes, "Do you want some wine?" He's like, "You got anything stronger?" She goes, "I knew you'd ask. It's right in there in the kitchen." So he goes, gives himself a glass, you know, throwing him back. Ain't that what the kids say, y'all? I don't say that. All right. So they talking. So pretty much she's just like, your room is in the back, mine is on the other side. There's only one bathroom. And he goes, "That's cool. You know, I'm not a slob." So then he asks her, he goes, what do you think they're going to say about this? She goes, "Who?" He goes, "You know who I'm talking about." She goes, "Randall and Alex." He's like, "Yeah, what do you think they're going to say?" She's like, "Honestly, I don't care. Once they find out we're living together." And he's like, "Well, that's good, because me neither." And she's like, "Okay, good." So she's like, "All right, so I just want to tell you I'm not really a good cook." He goes, "I know, I've had you cooking." She's like, "All right, so go ahead and starve." He goes, "Well, you could." He was like, "I'm just kidding, but you could use a few lessons." She goes, "Okay, from who?" He goes, "Me. You know, you tried my cooking before, you liked it." And so yeah, ace boom boom. So she goes, "All right, you know, okay." So then she's like, "All right, I'm tired. I'm about to go, you know, hit the sack." He goes, "It's only 5 in the afternoon. You already going to sleep?" So she's like, "Yeah, you know, I'm tired. I'm so tired I could sleep for 15 hours." So he grabs her when she's walking to the room. He goes, "Can I hold you?" She like, "Brad." He's like, "Come on, please." You know, he's like, "I honestly feel like I need to be held." So they standing up now. So she hugs him. She goes, "I wish I could say yes, but I can't. So no." And he's like, "It's all right. You know, I get it and all that. This isn't right." So they on the same page with that. She's like, "Nah, it's not. You know, we can't do it no more." And she's like, she goes, "4 guys." He's like, "What?" She's like, "I only ever been with 4 guys. Randall was 3rd, you were 4th." And she's like, "That night I was so vulnerable, so helpless, you know, so weak, and I really regret it. She was like, "And I apologize to you, because I came into your backyard with every intention of, you know, doing what we did, and I'm real sorry about that." And that's when she was like, "You know, I was never so vulnerable, so helpless, so weak, and I really regret it." And he's like, "Yeah, me too." And she's like, "Good, because it wasn't right." So then he's like, so he goes, "I'm sorry." She goes, "For what?" He goes, "You know, for still, you know, wanting to, you know." And, you know, he goes, what we did was 100 times better than what I ever did with Alex. And, you know, they had that little thing. So then he's just like, all right, I'm going to have to do what I do best when I'm trying to distract myself. She goes, what's that? He's like, bury my head and work. Then he goes, I forgot my computer. So this is when we switch back, and this was the final scene of the night, everybody. We switch back to Randall's house. Randall is on the patio. Mama Louise is leaving. He's like, Mom, where you going? She's like, I'm going home. He said, too much drama for you? She goes, no, you're too much. Come up, give me a hug. I thought she was going to hit him. Did y'all? Because I would at least slap him or something like that. Like, really, you going to embarrass me like this? So, yeah, they hug and she crying and everything. So, when he pulled back, he looking like, did you just cry on my shirt? That's how his face looked. It really annoyed me, too. Like, your mama crying, you sitting there looking like, what is you? That's how his face looked. I was over it. So, then she was like, this will probably be the last time I'm going to see you. He's like, what are you talking about? She goes, I can feel it. I can feel it. And I'm like, what is... I thought she was going to say something was with her. Like, I'm like, is she about to say cancer? Because I would have felt so bad if I was him. But nah, she was insinuating something's going to happen to you. Because then he's like, Mom, I'm fine. I promise. Nothing's going to happen to me. That's when he trying to comfort her. Bam, Marcy driving up in his car. Brad get out the car, going to the house to get his laptop. She's still in the car. Randall run up. Miss Mama Louise trying to stop him. He come in the car. He like, oh, she you driving his car now, huh? You driving around town with him? You going to the shed? You gonna drive his car now? Really? And then he gets all up in her face. He's like, I'm gonna make your life. I'm gonna ruin your life. I'm gonna ruin your life. So Mama Louise finally gets him. No. So then Marcy goes, you don't have that power. And I want to say this: when he stepped up to the car, she said, don't. She wasn't even shocked at him coming from the side. She just said, don't. You know what I'm saying? Baddest chick. Baddest chick. Better than your average chick. Gets a clapping quick. Gets a clapping quick. Okay, y'all. Alright. So, yeah. So then, Mama Louise gets him. And he's like, all right, man. Perfect timing. Perfect. Because the dude, Brad is coming out the house. And the dude that's supposed to be serving him, coming right up on him. He blocks it. He goes, Brad Montgomery? He's like, yeah. You've been served. So Marcy coming up to Brad, she like, Brad, don't open it. Don't open it. She gets out the car and walks around. Don't open it. Don't open it. He looking at Randall. Randall looking at him. I can't, y'all. I can't. So the show ends with Brad being served. And when it teases for next week, Randall gonna be talking mess. Kelly coming out the house, y'all. He gonna be saying, oh, did you get a new man now? You ain't getting dumped every week? Y'all ain't breaking up every week? Oh, you gonna buy another house that you can't afford? I can't stand Randall. Then we got fake ASS Eddie and fake ASS Ben at the hospital on lookout with Pete talking about see, he was, what did he say? He was like, don't even say nothing to me. I'ma just tell you or something. And then okay, I don't even want to give too much, y'all, because I've been reading into some episodes, but alas, I'ma just talk about what we've seen on the spoilers. I see Julius coming. I see a woman next to Julius's father. First of all, let me get that in. Then I see Julius popping up behind that woman. Because, see, Tyler be trying to speed up the clip. So, Tyler, I got pause. All right, I'll pause, play. Pause, you know what I'm saying? He don't know. He don't know. But the show is up. This is a really good... I've always thought this was an amazing show. And I really think Tyler's... I've always thought Tyler was a true talent, you know. But this is really just that. You know, we got For Better or Worse. We have Love Thy Neighbor. We have The Loving Is Wrong. We have The Haves and the Have-Nots. He had Meet the Browns, House of Pain. Tyler is not to mention all his plays and movies. Tyler is really successful, and we're proud of him. As a people, other people can be proud of him too, but just for him to be a brother as a a black man and really out there representing. Not to make it a race thing, everybody, but I really just wanted to get that in because I look at Tyler and I'm like, this dude right here, that's my uncle. And I say that because when I'm a fan of something or somebody, I'm like, that's not enough to say I'm a fan. That's my family. So, and I'm that like that about Tyler. So, and I call the Jedi my uncle too. Jedi, if you didn't know, you're my play uncle. So, yeah, and I appreciate my last video, you guys, is up to 85 views. So thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much, Jedi, for giving me a shout out at the end of your last video and kind of letting people know, what I'm doing here. I really appreciate that. Okay, so, like, comment, maybe subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm appreciating you expressing yourself. All right, y'all. It's your girl, Jada J.